There is a moment when a house changes. You don't see it, but you feel it. The air grows heavy. The silence is no longer peaceful. Sleep becomes restless. Laughter fades. The walls feel closer, the corners darker. You walk through the rooms and ask yourself quietly, what happened to this place? The furniture is the same. The icons are still there. The rosary still hangs by the door. But the warmth? Gone. The church teaches that the home is a domestic church, a small sanctuary where God desires to dwell. But sanctuaries can grow cold, not by storms, but by forgetting. Not by sin, but by neglect. Not by violence, but by silence. Pope Leo XIV once said, "The devil rarely knocks on the front door. He waits until the prayers stop." And maybe they have. When was the last time this house heard a rosary aloud? When was the last time the Bible was opened, not dusted? When did you last invite heaven into your hallway? You didn't mean to forget. You were busy, tired, distracted. But the soul of a house needs more than walls. It needs worship. Because if the holy is not invited, something else fills the void. Not always evil. Sometimes just emptiness. And emptiness is where confusion grows. You don't need to panic, but you do need to return. To reclaim what was once offered. To bless what has become ordinary. Because your home was meant to be more than shelter. It was meant to shine. She had holy images in every room. The Sacred Heart. The Divine Mercy. The Immaculate Conception. But the house still felt wrong. She couldn't explain it. Her children were restless. Her husband distant. The light in her kitchen, once joyful, now felt dim. "I don't understand," she said to the priest. "Our home is full of holy things." He listened carefully, then asked softly, "Are they blessed?" She blinked. She had never thought to ask. She had bought them with good intentions, placed them with love, but had never brought them to the church. Never asked a priest. Never said the prayers to invite grace. The priest nodded. "Goodness is not enough," he said. "The church must claim what belongs to God. This is not superstition. This is sacramental life." The Catechism teaches that blessings are real, that they mark a thing as sacred. They summon grace, they drive out confusion, they open the door for peace. Pope Leo XIV explained it clearly. A crucifix on the wall without blessing is like a locked door. It has shape, but no entry. So ask yourself, have you blessed your house? Your images? Your rosaries? Your water? If not, begin. Invite your priest. Light a candle. Say the prayers. Reclaim your space. Because sacred images are not decorations, they are doorways. And when they are opened with prayer, the light returns. Not just in the room, but in every heart that enters. Every room remembers, even when we don't. The hallway where anger echoed. The bedroom where tears were never shared. The kitchen where laughter once lived but hasn't returned. Homes are not neutral. They hold presence. And presence, if not filled by prayer, becomes filled with something else. You felt it, haven't you? That unease when entering a certain space. The tension in the air. The heaviness you can't explain. This is not fantasy. This is spiritual memory. The church teaches, through her exorcists and contemplatives, that matter holds memory. That grace clings to places where God is praised, and that darkness lingers where prayer has ceased. Not demons, not horror, but heaviness, and the soul feels it. Pope Leo XIV called it the silent haunting of the unblessed home. Not haunting by ghosts, but by the absence of light. A slow forgetting of God's presence. So what do? You remember what the house forgot. You walk room to room with holy water. You whisper psalms. You sing the Salve Regina. You place a crucifix in the rooms that have grown too quiet. And as you do, something changes. Not always suddenly, but truly, because light returns when it is invited. Grace moves when it is welcomed. And a room that remembered sorrow can now remember sanctity. Your home is not too far gone. Even now it listens. Even now it waits, remembers, and it hopes. There's a place in every home that's often overlooked. The doorway. We walk through it dozens of times a day. In and out. Without thought. Without pause. But ancient Catholic homes, remembered. They placed holy water by the door. They made the sign of the cross when leaving. They whispered, "Jesus, go with me." What? Because the threshold is a battleground. It is where you go from holy to hurried. From sanctuary to world. From prayer to noise. And the church teaches, we are to bless our going out and our coming in. Pope Leo XIV said, "If you do not sanctify your threshold, do not be surprised if the world follows you inside." Have you forgotten this sacred act? When was the last time your doorframe felt a prayer? When was the last time your children crossed into the world with a blessing on their forehead? This is not old-fashioned. This is powerful. Because the devil doesn't fear crosses on the wall. He fears crosses on the body. He fears thresholds that drip with holy water. He fears families who pause to pray, even for 10 seconds, before stepping out. Begin again. Tonight, place a drop of holy water on your finger. Trace the cross on your front door. And say aloud, even in a whisper, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." No darkness can argue with that. And your threshold, the very edge of your home, will become a gate of peace. Because homes are not protected by locks. They are protected by love. And love that remembers to pray is never forgotten in return. There is no room more sacred in a home than the one where you lay your head. It is the place where your heart slows, where dreams unfold, where the body becomes most vulnerable and the soul closest to heaven. And yet, for many, it has become the most restless place of all. Tossing, turning, scrolling, sighing. Sleep does not come easily. Peace is fleeting. The night feels long, heavy, sometimes even strange. Why? Because the bedroom has forgotten prayer. Once, Catholic homes ended the day with a blessing, a sign of the cross, a rosary whispered into the night, a crucifix kissed before sleep. Now, screens glow. Voices echo from unseen corners. The silence is no longer holy. Pope Leo XIV taught tenderly, "The soul rests best where angels dwell." And angels dwell where prayer rises. If your sleep has lost its sweetness, perhaps it is not a problem of the body, but of the room. Has your bedroom become too loud for heaven? The Church reminds us, even sleep is a sacred act when offered. So tonight, begin again. Dim the lights. Turn off the noise. Light a single candle if you can. Hold your rosary even if you're too tired to finish. Whisper, "Mary, stay with me." Place a small bottle of holy water on your nightstand. Make your room a place where angels find no hindrance and where evil cannot rest. And you will find, slowly, softly, that your nights change. Dreams grow clearer. Mornings feel gentler. And your sleep becomes prayer. Because a home where God is remembered is never left unguarded. Even in the darkest hour of night. The holiest place in some homes is not the altar or the prayer corner. It is the kitchen table. Not because of bread and wine, but because of ordinary meals made holy by gratitude. The saints have said, the family meal is the altar of the home. It is where love is shared, stories are told, and bodies are nourished. But when grace is forgotten, even food loses its joy. You felt it. Meals rushed. Phones between plates. Gratitude replaced by silence, or worse, complaint. And the holy becomes hollow. But the Church still blesses meals. Still invites grace before and after. Because to eat without blessing is to ignore the giver. Pope Leo XIV once said, "A meal prayed over may feed the stomach. But a meal unblessed feeds only the habit, not the heart." When was the last time you gave thanks truly? Not rushed, not embarrassed, not out of routine, but with awe? Return to it. Start with the sign of the cross. Say it slowly. Let the prayer of blessing be spoken aloud, even if awkward, even if whispered. Invite each meal to be more than nourishment. Let it be Eucharistic, a foreshadowing of the heavenly table. Your children may not understand at first. Your guests may find it unusual. But the angels will rejoice. Because grace, when spoken over bread, echoes through walls. And homes built around blessed tables become strong against any storm. The holy must return to the home. And it begins where we eat. In many homes, the mirror holds too much power. It is where your children first measure their worth. Where you examine your age, your appearance, your flaws. Where vanity quietly grows, or insecurity. But rarely is it a place of blessing. Pope Leo XIV once observed, "We teach our children to bless their meals, but not their reflection. And so they forget who they are before they forget how to pray." The mirror was never meant to be an altar of self. It was meant to be a reminder, I am a temple of the Holy Spirit. Yet in many homes, the mirror reflects only what is lacking. It criticizes, compares. It steals joy before the day even begins. The Church teaches that the body is good, created in love, destined for resurrection. But in a house where mirrors are not sanctified by truth, lies are born. Have you consecrated your reflection? Have you ever made the sign of the cross before a mirror? Have you looked into your own eyes and said aloud, "Jesus, live in me today"? Do it. Begin a new ritual. Before you leave the house, not only fix your hair or straighten your clothes, but bless your body. Not because it is perfect, but because it is His. Teach your children to do the same. Let the mirror be a place of commissioning, not performance. Let the house reflect heaven, in every corner, even in the glass. Because when God is seen in the mirror, vanity retreats, and identity is healed. It doesn't happen all at once. The light doesn't return with a crash. The warmth doesn't shout. It begins with a whisper, a single prayer, a single candle, a single decision. This house belongs to God again. And slowly you see it. The air feels different. The rooms breathe again. The arguments lessen. The dreams grow clearer. And peace begins to drip like oil from the corners. You brought back the holy water. You blessed the walls. You prayed the rosary aloud even if the children didn't listen. You lit a candle in the kitchen. You started saying grace again. And heaven noticed. Because the church teaches, where two or more gather in his name, even if that gathering is tired, small, awkward, he is there. Pope Leo XIV's final blessing over home says it best. O Lord, may this house be a chapel in the storm, a lamp on the street, a tabernacle where love returns to rest. That can be your home. That can begin tonight. Place your hand on your door. Whisper aloud, Jesus, live here. And he will. Not because of magic, but because of faith. Because grace does not force its way in, it waits for a door. And when that door opens, even the walls will sing. Even the silence will glow. And your house, yes, your house, will become a shrine again.